All right, all right, all right. Hello there, and welcome to the Comics Launch Mastermind info session. My name is Tyler James, and I'm excited to have you here. On this video, we're going to talk all about the January 2023 Comics Launch Mastermind classes that are starting up again, how you can join a group, and how you can join a comic creator mastermind to level up your creative business in the new year. I am excited to have those of you that are watching here live and then on the replay. Thank you for joining us. There's going to be the opportunity, as we are here live right here on December 13th at 3 p.m. Eastern. There'll be opportunity to ask any questions that you might have about masterminds and about the Comics Launch Mastermind and specifically. And I'm also here to answer any other questions that you might have in order to make a good decision about what's really going to help you level up in the new year, because that's what I'm all about, is helping creators achieve their goals. So I want to welcome you and thank you for watching. You are in the right place here. If you are a comic creator, a writer, an artist, a publisher, and someone who is interested in growing your audience, your network, and your creative business this year and in the new year. I am someone who definitely checks all of those boxes, and the creators that I work with check all those boxes as well. And so a quick check-in. I just love to hear when you're watching live or on the replay. Has anyone been in a mastermind before, or are you currently in a mastermind? Please let me know in the chat. Yes, you're in one right now. Yes, you've been one in the past, but you're not in one, and no, you haven't. You can also let me know if that's you as well. And if you're not sure, that's also fine. Happy to sort that through. But would love to hear what your experience with masterminds has been. I am Tyler James. I'm the publisher of Comics Tribe and the founder of Comics Launch Pro. And so I'm going to be sort of your host and facilitator of masterminds in the new year, if you choose to take advantage of the Comics Launch Mastermind. And just a little bit about me. I am, as publisher of Comics Tribe, we've been publishing since 2011 and really using Kickstarter since 2012. Date I about to launch, I think, my 30th Kickstarter project. Funded all sorts of things from single issues to hardcover anthologies and everything in between. In addition to the comics, I've also built up the C is for Cthulhu brand, which is about to launch its 10th Kickstarter project. All in, I have a ton of Kickstarter experience and a ton of experience working with creators. And one of the ways that I share that is with the weekly Comics Launch podcast. It is a show all about Kickstarter and crowdfunding, mindset, strategies, and tactics. And many of you may have listened to the podcast before, or even some of you have been a guest on the podcast. So I'm more in the new year, and I've been podcasting for, believe it or not, but inside the Comics Launch Pro community, which is the sort of higher level next step for creators that listen to the podcast and they want additional training and other things. Comics Launch Pro is a training program and community that I've established. Inside this community, our creators have had over 590 successful Kickstarter launches. We have a 97% success rate for members to go through our program, and we're closing in on that $5 million in total funding mark for our community, which is pretty awesome. And I've operated on the principle of you can have everything in life you want if you're just willing to help enough other people get what they want. And that's sort of what I've built on. And what I found is that, the more I teach this stuff, the better I do for my own stuff and the ripple effects on the Kickstarter platform. You may have noticed that the comics in last year became the all-time highest success rate category on Kickstarter. And a lot of that is because it's such a good community of giving back and helping one another. So that's just a little bit about me. Really what I want to talk about is about you. And I'd love to hear, in the chat, scale of 1 to 10, how has your year been? And I know that 2022 has been, in many cases, another wild, crazy year. They don't seem to get any simpler or any less complicated. And for 2022, I know it's been a stressful year and a challenging year in a lot of ways. But for me and for many of the creators that I work with, and for creators that use Kickstarter, publishing and all of that. From that perspective, 2022 has actually been a really great year. Just some personal achievements that I've had this year is we did over $135,000 for 5 Comics Tribe business Kickstarters that we launched this year, from new hardcover board books and a graphic novel launch, and 3 single issue launches. And also just had another really banner year in growth for the ComixLaunch Pro community. We had several members of our community get into the 6-figure club of raising over $100,000 in total on Kickstarter. We even had a member get into the $500,000 club, which is a tremendous achievement for so many creators that are having success here. I've also celebrated my 6th anniversary of leaving my day job and being a full-time creator. I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to lead these groups, and because creating and launching Comics Tribe projects and then helping other talented creators with their launches is what I do all day, every day. And one of the things that I do that I enjoy the most is what's called the ComixLaunch MasterMind. And so over the past 4.5 years, I've created the ComixLaunch MasterMind. I've been hosting the Mastermind, and every 6 months, I have opened this private group up to new members, to a few new members each and every 6-month term. And so I'm excited to talk about that again to you, and at least introduce you to the power and the concept of masterminding and mastermind groups. And some of the creators that have been in the mastermind groups over the past couple of years have done things like had their first 5-figure Kickstarter launch, had five Kickstarter launches in a row, secured amazing reviews for their comics. They've invested in new courses in art and training. They've recruited artist partners for new series. They hit their writing goals for the quarter, had projects covered in the New York Times, registered a trademark for their new property, launched a $30,000 Kickstarter project, collaborated with fellow mastermind members on anthology projects, got new webcomics up and running, negotiated partnerships with a game company, got Kickstarter funded series picked up by a publisher for direct market distribution. They got multiple pitches accepted for an exciting anthology projects. They set up an LLC to take their business to the next level. They hired an accountant to get the creative business books in order. They've interviewed and hired editors for comic book projects. They had their best Kickstarter launch ever and then topped it again and again. Wrote 3 scripts in 3 months, navigated a tricky breakup with a creative partnership that was no longer working, found a brand new creative team, and started publishing other creators' work and had success with it on Kickstarter. And so no creator that is in the ComixLaunch Mastermind is in the exact same spot and is focused on the exact same things. But this is just kind of like a breadth of the kinds of challenges, problems, goals, and things that creators that have been in the mastermind are working on. And what I've found is that oftentimes when you get the right group of people together, even if someone's working on a challenge that you don't have right now, many times it's sort of a window into what's coming down the line. And so it's been really eye-opening to see how every creator can grow by being intimately associated with other creators that are going after difficult, tough stuff, and then supporting them on that. And so the mastermind groups that I've been a part of are really groups of creators that are committed to leveling up. And one of the key practices for our members' growth is that we're constantly investing back in ourselves and our creative businesses. I do believe that you always see the biggest return when you invest in 2 things: your skills, like what you know how to do, and constantly trying to get a little bit better at the things that are most important to you and are the skills that are most important to your business succeeding. And then also your network, who you know, who you have in your corner, who you can connect to, and their network. I've always seen a tremendous return on focusing on these 2 things. And so when I offer something to like to the ComixLaunch community, the ComixLaunch Pro, what I'm always trying to keep in mind and always trying to create opportunities for is for creators that work with me or to interact with me in any way that they're going to learn something, they're going to improve their skills, and they're also going to enhance their network. And so today's agenda is I want to cover what a mastermind is, what a mastermind can do for your creative business. I'll share a little bit about why I first started the ComixLaunch Mastermind and why I've continued it every year, and creators keep coming back to it. I'll share a little bit about what's included in the ComixLaunch Mastermind and how the ComixLaunch Mastermind works. We'll also talk about what the commitment and the investment is to be a part of the ComixLaunch Mastermind for the January 2023 first session. And I'll share how to apply and then answer any questions that may come up. All right. So question, or the first question, really, the big one that we got to make sure that we're all on the same page here is, what is a mastermind? And the way I like to answer this question sometimes is this is a Socratic method, answering questions with questions. But I'd like you to just think about, besides yourself, like how many people are there on this planet who, one, know exactly what it is that you're trying to create this week, this month, this year, in the next 5 years, and in your lifetime. Two, want you to succeed and are regularly thinking about and have you on your mind and are thinking about what they can do to help you on your mission. That you can trust that they offer you good, knowledgeable advice, that they know what they're talking about, and also that they're going to give it to you straight. They are not so emotionally invested in you that they're not willing to, call it like they see it and tell you maybe what you need to hear, but not necessarily even if it's not necessarily what you want to hear. And then these are also people that you are meeting with regularly, consistently, to talk about these things because that relationship is a priority in your life. And so, do you have someone that checks all these boxes? Do you have multiple people that check all these boxes? I know for most of my early days as like a proud DIY sort of do it myself, learn everything myself guy. I was proud of that, but I couldn't check any of these boxes. I didn't have anybody that I could turn to when I didn't know something, or I didn't have anybody that I was talking through my issues with for a big chunk of my early career. And so if you have somebody that checks all these boxes, even if it's just one person, I think you're actually ahead of where most creators are. And so you can just think about it, how many people in your world do you have that fit that description and that you're actually prioritizing scheduling a meeting with them. And so the flip side is, imagine that there was a small group of high performers and achievers, creators that you respect and admire, that are out there working on bringing their own visions to life. And they also had you on their minds and it's built into their schedule. Imagine this creator group was thinking about how they could support you, include you, collaborate with you, connect with you, and create with you. What would that do? Would that make a difference in your creative business and your creative life? And so that's really the concept behind a mastermind. Some of the things mastermind groups can provide is accountability. And so in the past, we've had creators that are trying to get back on track with their writing goals and wanted the group to help them stay on track with hitting their writing counts for the word counts for the week or the month, or their script counts for the year. Mastermind groups can help with that accountability. Support. There's also creators that want feedback or need a fresh pair of eyes or want support around certain issues, and a mastermind group can provide that. You can sort of think of it as your own personal brain trust and focus group of knowledgeable people. And so what a mastermind really is a small, very focused group of like-minded creators who are meeting regularly, and they're there to sharpen their resources and connections. They're sharpening and strengthening their creative business strategies, and they're there to support each other in mutually beneficial ways. All right. And so a mastermind can be a safe space for big, scary ideas, instant feedback, a pool of resources, collaborative joint ventures, info and network sharing, shining light on new possibilities, and pushing others and also being pushed to achieve greatness. Albert Lim was a founding member of the ComixLaunch Mastermind, and he said about his group, if I ask a question, I know I'm going to get a quality answer that's going to improve me. And that's because of the quality of people in the group. The monthly mastermind meetings help keep me on track, and the check-ins help keep me focused on doing the things I said I was going to do. It's important to know what a mastermind is not. A mastermind is not, by definition, a how-to course. It's not a sage on the stage seminar. And so, while good mastermind groups do have a facilitator, and that's my role in the Comics Launch Mastermind. I facilitate every group, but I am not the expert necessarily. Sometimes I can step up and be the expert, but oftentimes someone else in the group will have an expertise if the group is put together correctly. And so it's not just one person disseminating information; it's more of a collaborative or collective, hive mind of a brain trust there. It's also not a done for you service. It's not like you're just hiring the mastermind to go create your career for you. Rather, the mastermind is there to support you as you work through what it is that you're trying to achieve. Mastermind is not a one-on-one coaching experience. In fact, often you'll have multiple coaches within the mastermind because you'll have multiple creators that are rooting for you. It's also not an overcrowded, nameless group where you can anonymously hide in the crowd. I can remember some of those like bigger college classes, the big survey classes, where if you wanted to show up and just sit in the back and sleep, you could. That's not a mastermind. It's really a small focused group, and we expect everyone to contribute each week. It's also, a mastermind is also not a group where anyone and everyone can get in. Masterminds can be effective for all creators at all levels, but there's not one but you want to make sure that the groups that you're in, that there are creators that are dealing with a similar set of questions and levels. And so that's one of the reasons why there are some sort of prerequisites to be in the Comics Launch Mastermind, because we want to make sure that creators are going to get value from the expertise that everyone in the group has. And that's another reason why there is an application process for my mastermind that I run. So some of the things you may expect a mastermind can do for you is it can help you achieve your business goals faster. It can provide structure and accountability to your creative work and to the business side of what you're trying to achieve. It can help you troubleshoot issues and find solutions to your challenges. It can provide access to new resources and contacts and networks. It can help you uncover blind spots and tap into new ideas and hear fresh perspectives from other creators that are knowledgeable. It can provide you community and connection, and they tend to be a lot of fun. I find myself, we're all laughing a little bit every single session. Occasionally there's a tear or two because we get into some real stuff. But usually most creators come out of them pretty energized. Clay Adams said, "The mastermind hot seats are incredibly valuable. I walk away from the sessions on a high from connecting with all these great people and with stuff I can walk away and do." That's Clay Adams, writer and co-publisher of Fried Comics, who's another founding member of the Comics Launch Mastermind. So some of the things that mastermind members may want to achieve this year, and you can think about like 2023, if you have that on your vision board, what's the main thing that you're trying to achieve this year? Are you trying to achieve a personal best crowdfunding launch, perhaps? Are you trying to seriously increase the size of your fan base? Are you trying to break into new sales channels, or maybe finally completing a big creative passion project? You can feel free to let me know of those options, which one best describes the big thing that you're trying to achieve in the new year, if you like. What I can say is that we've had members that have achieved all of those things. This is Rob Moltari of Snowpaw and Nightwolf fame. And Rob, as a member, was able to achieve both new high backer totals and new funding highs for Kickstarters in the last year. Melody Pena was a member of our Comics Launch Mastermind, and she was able to finally complete her passion project of bringing her webcomic collection to life. And if you're wondering what a $100,000 Kickstarter can sometimes look like on the fulfillment side, that's Melody's husband and a forklift moving her books. And so why did I start the Comics Launch Mastermind? Really, I discovered that there were creators in my extended network of thousands who were kind of on the cusp of a breakthrough year, but they didn't necessarily need another course or to learn specific skills. They didn't necessarily need that, but what they did need was a little bit more connection. They needed more community, they needed more contacts, and they needed some accountability. And those are things that really you can't get outside of a mastermind. And so I was really excited about this mastermind concept. I had been in a couple of masterminds that really helped me level up. Just being around other comic publishers. I was in a comic publisher mastermind for a year, and just being around other publishers that were dealing with these very unique situations for me just helped make such a difference in the development of my publishing imprint. And so I wanted to bring that to other creators, because as I was doing the podcast and as I was teaching the ComixLaunch courses, I was working and interacting with literally hundreds of creators. And I thought, some of these creators should spend more time with one another, and magic's going to happen from that. And so I sort of looked at my role not as any one of the superhero in this case. I was more of a Nick Fury. And I thought that my greatest value to my audience could have been my ability to connect and assemble the right group of creators and keep them meeting. I knew that it wasn't necessarily about what I specifically alone know and can do, and I knew that no one has a monopoly on good ideas, and that often the magic happens when you get the right people in the room and they're all there for the right reasons. And that's what the ComixLaunch Mastermind kind of looks like. And I've continued to do the mastermind every 6 months and re-enroll it every 6 months and open the doors and let a few new people in every 6 months, is because it works. And George O'Connor's been a member for a while. He said, I found the ComixLaunch Mastermind absolutely irreplaceable over these past 2 years. From a mentality and support system perspective, I'm here because I want to get better by learning from other creators. And Moana McAdams said, I've been with the ComixLaunch Mastermind since its inception, just tons of value. I wouldn't be where I am as a creator without it. And it's been great seeing Moana's evolution, because, she went from sort of being a support person and joined the ComixLaunch Mastermind to help support the comic side of her husband's business. But through the mastermind, Moana sort of decided to flourish on her own and started producing these really great children's book series, and has had tremendous success, and as an author of her own right, and a podcaster. And she's it's been fun to watch her sort of step out from behind the scenes over the past couple of years and really become a known creator and creative force. So my number one job as a mastermind facilitator is to assemble the right group of high caliber, serious creators, and to facilitate an environment where they can all have a breakthrough year through mutual support and accountability. And so that's what the ComixLaunch Mastermind is. It's what it's all about. And so the invitation is to join an exclusive mastermind for serious creators that is run and led each month by me, Tyler James of ComixLaunch. The ComixLaunch Mastermind is for comic creators, writers, and publishers who are already on their creative journey in some way. And their goal, I hate to put or just focus solely on numbers, but the goal for most of the creators, they're looking to level their creative business up to maybe a high 5-figure or 6-figure mark and beyond. Now, not every creator in the group is there yet, but that's sort of the aspirations that they have. We're about split down the middle between creators that have a rewarding day job and want to keep it and are happy with it, and sort of see their comics and creative aspirations as a side hustle that they want to grow. And then the other half are sort of full-time creators that are really trying to grow and be as successful as they can be. So what's included in the ComixLaunch Mastermind is a 6-month immersive mastermind experience. That includes monthly roundtable coaching and accountability calls, a private Facebook group just for the mastermind. Monthly themes and high performance exercises are available. We do accountability check-ins each month, and you'll have a connection to a small group of high performers and achievers who constantly have you on their minds for mutual support and benefit. One thing that I quickly learned is that although most of the creators that joined the ComixLaunch Mastermind were first ComixLaunch Pro members, and they had access to my suite of and library of courses and training materials and community, not everyone is. Sometimes creators enter through the mastermind first. And so I decided that part of being a part of the mastermind is that while you were a member of the mastermind, if you weren't already a Comics Launch Pro member, you would get 6 months of access to the entire Comics Launch Pro library of courses and training materials while you were a member. And masterminds also get, which isn't a part of the regular Comics Launch Pro group, is that you'll get instant access to 20 plus Comics Launch Mastermind masterclasses from industry pros. One of the things that we do each year is there are some issues or some topics or some things that creators in the group want to know about, and no one in the group necessarily has tremendous expertise on that. But thankfully, through the podcast and through my connections, I'm able to get guest lecturers, comic book professionals, pros to come in and sort of teach an area of their expertise, specifically around what the mastermind wants to learn. And so each session, in addition to the monthly get-togethers, we have 3 bonus sessions, usually with a guest expert, and that usually is about 45 minutes of them presenting, teaching, etc., and then always followed by mastermind exclusive Q&A, so the anyone in the mastermind can ask those. And so you'll have instant access to the entire library of those great classes that we have. Plus, you'll get 3 new Comics Launch Master classes that will happen during this next 6-month term with those accomplished comic pros and guest lecturers, and they'll all be speaking on an area relevant to creatives and an area of their expertise. Those sessions you are able to attend live, and you'll also have access to the recording if you can't make it live. And so, we'll have specific details on what new mastermind masterclasses are coming up. But in the meantime, you'll have access as soon as you enroll to the entire library of everything that all the classes over the past 4.5 years. It's actually some really good ones in there. Christopher Michael said, "Hello all, my name is Chris and I'm a member of the inaugural Comics Launch Mastermind. If you're thinking about joining the next session, I can promise you this, it will be well worth your time and money. In the last 6 months, I've not only learned more than my brain can currently handle, but I've also taken action towards my goals in a way that simply wouldn't have happened had I not plunged myself into this immersive experience. Do it." So the mastermind is application only, and I'm only accepting applications from creators who can commit to making a mastermind group a priority in their lives for at least the next 6 months, creators that are already on their journey and have a vision for where they want to go, creators that are looking to level up their creative businesses and their peer networks, and creators that get genuinely excited about the prospect of contributing to the growth of other creators' businesses along with their own. And some of the creators that get the most out of these sessions come away from them, sometimes like they don't necessarily have an issue that they're dealing with in that month. But if they can walk away from the session helping another creator get clarity on their issue, or get access to a resource or a tool or a technique that they hadn't thought of, those creators really come away with it feeling good about themselves and feeling good about the experience, and know that that's going to come back around in the future. I'm a strong karma believer, and I think Mastermind's a great way to sort of access that on a regular basis. So what's the commitment to be a part of Comics Launch Mastermind? We ask when you enroll is that you commit to being a part of a group for at least 6 months. That will run from January through June 2023. And just that by joining, you're agreeing and you're making a commitment to yourself to make the group and the people in it a priority in your life so that you can receive the benefits of a mastermind. People that are enrolled are committing to you, and you're committing to them for that 6-month period. So some of you may be thinking, Tyler, sounds good. What's the investment? And you may also be wondering, like, oh, wait, you're going to charge something for this? And you may wonder, why charge anything at all for this? It sounds so good. It seems like something that should just work. But I have had people ask me, and I've had thought, this at certain times in my life, if you really wanted to help the most creators with this, like, why not make these groups free to join? And the reason for that is a few. First, I've found that groups like this are easy in and easy out, and free masterminds always fizzle out. Every free mastermind I've taken a part of, and every free mastermind that I've heard other creators do, in most cases, they tend to fizzle out, especially if the creators involved did not have a pre-established relationship. And so it's, we all know this. All of us probably have a stack of free stuff that we're going to get around to someday, whether it be the comics to read or PDFs to read or ebooks and things like that. I always find the stuff that I actually invest in goes first to the read pile, because we value what we pay for. Also, the investment, I'll be honest, is there to ensure that the right people are getting into the group, and that the people that are joining are serious about building their creative businesses. They're not coming just to hang out. And the fact that they put down an investment to be a part of this group means they show up looking to get a return on that investment, and also looking to add tremendous value to the creators in the group. So, and in many cases, that transformation, that decision that I'm really going to take this seriously and take myself seriously and take my business growth over the next 6 months seriously, comes with that transaction. All right. So that's why I do it. So the good news is that everyone doesn't need to join, right? All you really need to have a dynamic, powerful mastermind group is 5 to 7 serious, committed creators. That's all that's really needed for a mastermind to thrive. Now, the ComixLaunch Mastermind groups tend to be a little bit bigger than that, but we've had them as small as 7, and they've really been powerful. And so, the January 2023 session of the ComixLaunch Mastermind, the pricing is $197 per month, or it's a single payment of $997 paid in full, and works out to be about under $6 a day. If you are an active ComixLaunch Pro member, you've already enrolled in ComixLaunch Pro, you already have access to the ComixLaunch Pro training materials, we'd actually have a special discount price, which is about $200 off for the paid in full. It's $797 paid in full, or $149 per month. If you're an active ComixLaunch Pro member. And, if you're not sure of your status or whatever, you can ask me, but most creators that have already enrolled in one of my programs will have access to that special discounted rate. Again, included in the ComixLaunch Mastermind is 6 months of access to all of the ComixLaunch Pro core programs, the List Launch program, the Beyond Kickstarter program, the ComixLaunch course, which is our flagship Kickstarter program, the Ad Launch program, which is our Facebook ads and paid traffic program, the email list building program is List Launch, and the sales channels Beyond Kickstarter is called Beyond Kickstarter. And each of those programs have sold by themselves for between $499 and $1,000. And you'll have 6 months full access to all of those programs when you join. You'll also get any new training programs or updates to those programs, as well as access to the ComixLaunch Pro monthly coaching sessions, live group coaching sessions. You'll have access to all of those as well. And so I said, while a mastermind isn't a course, while you're a member of the mastermind, you will have access to the suite of courses. And again, you'll have access to those 20 plus master classes. So we've had Oriana Leckert, who runs publishing at Kickstarter, come in and do a state of the Kickstarter comic book Kickstarter union address to our members. We have one of the managers that I work with, IP managers that I work with, do a Hollywood primer for comic book creators. Russell Nolte did a presentation on 5-figure anthology secrets, stuff on pitching and publishing. We have David Pepos coming in to talking about upping your PR game, how to turn your characters into 3D models with Andrew Pauly, how to plan an online book tour, how to launch a webtoon from Walter Osley. So many really good trainings and classes that you'll have instant access to when you join as well. And so here's a quick recap. You'll have 6 months of monthly roundtable coaching and accountability calls when you join the mastermind. You'll have access to the private mastermind group. You will have access to our monthly themes and high performance exercises. There'll be accountability check-ins. You'll have that full access to the full library of ComixLaunch Pro training materials for 6 months while you're a member. Again, there is a discount if you're already a member, and then you'll have instant access to that masterclass library and also get invitations to attend all of our new masterclasses with guest experts in the new year. And the other thing is we have over the years raised the price of the mastermind as more things get added to it. But you always are able to lock in whatever you join at, that price will never go up for you for as long as you're a member. And so, total value about $5,000 for the mastermind all in. But you can join for $197 per month. It's a 6-month commitment again, and that's $149 for active Comics Launch Pro members. Then option two is you can save $197 with a single payment of $997 or $797 for active Comics Launch Pro members. And again, this is the lowest we offer for mastermind enrollment. Kevin Joseph, who was a member of the mastermind for a few terms, said, I've been working with Tyler over the last year or so in the ComixLaunch Mastermind group. The skills and practices I've been exposed to or taught during that year have already paid for themselves, and I believe they'll be the cornerstone of my career moving forward. I recommend the ComixLaunch community unreservedly as an exceptional investment in your business. So if you're interested, here is the next step. First, you want to make sure that you meet the requirements. And again, those requirements are you are you sort of have goals and you want to flesh out those goals and want support to make them happen. You are able to make this group a priority for the next 6 months. You're excited about adding value for others as much as receiving it. And joining would be an investment for you, right? We want you to take it seriously, but it's not going to burden you financially. Like, we don't want people selling kidneys to join the ComixLaunch Mastermind. You can wait until you're in a better spot for that, but we want you to take it seriously, absolutely. And then also we encourage you, if that's you, then the next step is to fill out the ComixLaunch Mastermind application. You can get that at comixlaunch.com/mm-apply. Acceptance for new members is by application only. And I review all of those applications very carefully. I think I ask only a few questions, but every question I ask is pretty darn powerful, and they're all asked for a specific reason. So I hope you'll, fill it out carefully. And then after you fill out the application, there is a $50 sort of token, yes, I'm serious, 100% refundable deposit. And I basically want people you can fill out the application. And then if after you fill out the application, you'll say, you know what, I think I'm serious about this. Then I do actually need a deposit of $50 before the application can be reviewed, because I do spend a lot of time reviewing those and putting the right people in the right groups. And I want to make sure that people are at least seriously considering it. And that's one way to sort of weed out the bots and all of that other stuff, right? So if you're on the fence, I encourage you just go fill out the application. It's going to help you get some clarity on where you've been as a creator, where you're going, and maybe give you some ideas about and get you thinking about what you're going to need to get there, and whether or not joining a mastermind might be a good idea. But whether or not you join the mastermind or not, a good introspective question is something that I always encourage creators to tackle. And so when you go to comixlaunch.com/mm-apply, you'll see a short Google form just like this. Make sure just to fill it out and include your email. So we have that. And know that, we return between 80 and 90% of the mastermind each term. And and if you are an existing member of the mastermind, you don't need to reapply again. There's actually a different process. And so we usually return about 80 to 90% of members, which means we only have a limited number of spots in our groups. So, sometimes we have more applicants than space. And so usually I go by whoever's going to be the best fit. And sometimes if a creator might not be ready for the group, then I'll tell them, and I will give them some sort of tips on what they can do to maybe be ready for 6 months down the line. And a lot of times we have creators that, may think about it and creators that have enrolled before, wasn't the right time then, but maybe they come back in the future after they move and things. But again, I've always been I always like the thing, you don't ever want to be the smartest person in the room that you're in. Like, you want to be in rooms where you can learn from the people there. And so I would rather have you sort of not count yourself out and sort of reach a little bit than discount yourself before that. And I've often found that even some of the creators that maybe don't have the resumes of other creators in some aspects. They tend to bring a lot to the group because they do bring different kinds of experience. So I am looking for sort of well-rounded experience in creators. But every creator that enrolls is going to be up to big things in the new year. So again, we only have a limited number of spots. There's a short window that we enroll in, and the next time we open enrollment isn't until July 23rd, 2023 at the earliest. So if this is something that you're interested in or you think might be what you need in the new year, definitely get those applications in. Key dates is the applications are open starting now, and they will be open until December 22nd. So just about, what is that? 9 days or so. And I will be reviewing applications between December 14th and 22nd. I'll follow up with creators if I need more information, but all creators will be notified regarding their acceptance by the 23rd of December. And then you will have until December 30th to just decide, make a final decision if you're going to enroll and then complete the balance of the payment. If you decide to enroll, your deposit will be applied, and then you'll just have to complete the balance of your payment, either the payment plan or the single payment. And then we will be rocking and rolling. The second week in January is when the new 2023 Mastermind sessions will begin. So just when you fill out that application, don't forget to submit the submit button. I've had a couple horror stories of people that spend a long time, just working really hard and sending a really good application, and they get to the end and then they forget to hit the submit button and they have to start it again. That's always a bummer. So definitely hit submit. When you hit submit, you'll be taken to a little page. It's not the prettiest page right here, but this page just reminds you that to have your application fully reviewed, you'll need to hit that deposit link. And just hit that link in there to make that $50 deposit, which is again fully refundable. It'll just be a page that looks like this. I won't review any applications that don't have a deposit dropped. You'll still have the opportunity to decide whether or not to officially enroll, even after you've submitted a deposit. So if you're on the fence, you might as well just fill out the application so that you have that option. We'll again keep those open until December 22nd, and we won't be opening again until July 2023. So if you are interested in leveling up in the new year, don't miss out. A few FAQs, and if you have a specific questions or something that I didn't cover, you can leave them in the comments, and I will try to answer them. I see Simon. What's up, Simon? Simon said, "Do you reach out to applicants with additional questions? I applied yesterday, but was concerned that maybe I didn't sell myself well. I applied under the name Amaxis." Hey, Simon. Yeah. So honestly, I realized that the link to the application was out there, and I did see an application already come in. So, but I have not had a chance to look at it yet. And so, feel free, if there's something specific that you want to add, you can shoot me an email, and if you have gotten any emails from me, you can just reply to any email if you don't have my email address, or you can email me at tyler.james@comixtribe. If there's anything you want to add, if I do have additional questions or something that I need to get clarified in order to make sure that it's a good fit, then I do reach out, and so I'll have your email to do that. But then also, I'm pretty out there. So if there's, chatting or there's or any other ways that that you can get that clarified, I'm happy to help with that. Some other common questions that come up are, what times will the groups meet? And that's always a little bit to be determined, because again, until I actually have the groups set up and know how many groups there will be and how many sessions there will be, it's not 100% locked in stone. But what's worked very well over the past several sessions is I tend to do 2 groups that usually meet on the second Wednesday of the month. The second Wednesday of the month. One group meets at 6 p.m. EDT. That tends to be a group that works better for creators that are overseas. or creators that don't don't do late nights. And then we have we always have a lot of night owls in the group, and so there is also a session that meets at 9:30 p.m. EDT, and that's for people that sort of work a 9 to 5 or just tend to be night owls. And so we do have those two groups. Tends to be what we typically do. Occasionally, we will open up a third group, and that will be at another time. Where does the group meet? This is not an in-person group, so I've had some people ask those questions because the ComixLaunch audience and the creator universe is worldwide, and so we've been Zooming before the pandemic. We've been meeting before people, the rest of the world, even knew what Zoom was, and so that's where we meet in a private Zoom room. The members, where are the members located geographically? Really all over the world. In the past, we've had members that have been from the US, the UK, some members in the EU and Australia and Canada. But we are open to and encourage creators that are up to big things and are looking for a support system in the comics world to join. And what's cool is we've had many creators like meet in this group, and then when they travel to conventions, they have a built-in network, and they end up meeting in real time, sharing tables and things like that. So it's fun to see the kind of connections that get made sometimes those are international connections. And occasionally at bigger shows like ComixLaunch or like New York Comic Con, we've had the ComixLaunch MasterMind meetups and things like that, which is nice. How big is the mastermind? So what we do is, even if we divide it up into 2 or 3 groups that meet at different sessions, there is one central private mastermind Facebook group for all the members. And all of the members have access to both mastermind sessions. So we ask creators to attend just one session, although some creators do attend an extra session from time to time because they want to meet the other creators in the group and spend a little time there. So that's okay. But we ask creators to commit to attending one live session each month. But what's great about it is you'll also have access to the video replay of the other sessions from the other mastermind. So that tends to be twice the hot seats, twice the challenges, twice the lessons learned and opportunities for growth. And so that's sort of how we do it. And all of the videos are housed inside our private mastermind Facebook group after the fact. All right, cool. So I'm available again here in the comments or via email or any way you want to get questions to me. You can also submit questions in the application in the anything else section. But that's the ComixLaunch Mastermind. And so I hope that this helped you. Yeah, Tom said, do we have lifetime access to the Mastermind Facebook group, or do we have to leave after 6 months? Yeah, so Tom, the Mastermind group is for active members. So you will have access to those sessions, those masterclass sessions library. You'll have access to those so that even if you don't get to watch them all during the 6 months, you'll have access to those afterwards. But the Facebook group is really just for active members, because otherwise that group, may get really, really big, but then it's not members that are active. And so that's kind of one of the ways that we're able to keep that, keep it so that the creators that are in there are committed for that 6 months. And the 6 months time is and part of the reason why we sort of do it 6 months is because people's lives change, right? And sometimes there are creators that after 6 months is up, they might get a lot of value from it, but something might happen, their world might change, their priorities might change a little bit, and they're not able to make that same commitment to for the next 6 months. And so while sometimes it's hard to sort of say goodbye to creators, especially ones that add a ton of value or that you've seen a lot of growth for them, we want to make sure that whether it's new creators that are joining for the first time or our founding members, which we still have several, or members that have been around for a little while, we want to make sure that everyone has the opportunity to that recommit every 6 months. And so that's part of why we do that. So yeah, if there are more questions, please reach out to me and let me know. Really looking for creators that sort of see this offer, see this opportunity, and kind of have like a hell yes, I'm in feeling to themselves right now. Life's too short to not be taking advantage of hell yeahs. And so if you're a hell yeah, I encourage you to just go to comixlaunch.com/mm-apply. That deadline is December 22nd again. So get it in before then. And I look forward to reading your responses. And if there are additional questions, feel free to reach out to me and any way that you like, and I will get those answered for you. But I really do appreciate you taking some time to learn a little bit more about the mastermind concept, how I do it, and hopefully you will continue to listen to the Comics Launch podcast this month. Tom is one of the creators that is coming up, I believe, on the next episode of Comics Launch. He will be in a hot seat. We did a special pop-up session that was open to the Comics Launch audience, and so Tom was one of the creators that was on a special pop-up session. So you'll hear sort of how those mastermind hot seats work and get a sense of like the mastermind experience. But if you come away from those saying, hey, I need some of that in my life, then I hope you join it. But whether or not you join us inside the Comics Launch Mastermind next year or not, I appreciate your time and attention, and I hope you enjoyed learning more about the concept. I always end things the same way. I can't wait to see what you launch next, and I really do mean it. So thanks for taking the time. All right, take care now.